I knew the Epstein files would be redacted, but holy shit did I underestimate just how much they would be. Because they redacted so much stuff from the files and blacked out so much stuff that they straight up have more black lines than a barcode. Like, just look at some of these pages. They blacked out so much information that it's not only insane, but just straight up ridiculous. But if you thought that was bad, there are entire sections of these files that are just straight up black squares. I'm not even kidding. In fact, there's one PDF they released of the files that is literally just 100 pages of just straight black squares. The only text you see is at the bottom, which I think is like the page number, the code name for that particular page. I don't fucking know. But this is just straight up ludicrous how much information they are blatantly withholding from us. Now, the FBI or the DOJ, I can't remember exactly who, did say that they were going to redact some things from the files because it contained details about the victims and they didn't want that getting out there, which I can't understand, but there is no fucking way there was over 100 pages just solely dedicated to information about the victims. Like, what the hell were they doing? Did they just have entire sections of these files dedicated to information about the victims, their families, their entire bloodlines, every bad thing they did from the moment they were born up until that point? Like, there's just no way they kept that much of a record about the victims. There is clearly some very damning and incriminating stuff within these files that the government doesn't want getting out there, because if it did, it could cause a political shitstorm of unprecedented proportions. Because it's not just Trump that's in these files. They got people from the left, right, up, and down in there. And if it ever came out that some of the most powerful people in our government were involved in Epstein's sex trafficking operation, it would cause such an uproar. History classes in the future would have to dedicate an entire semester just to learn about it. And some of you might be saying, well, yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to prevent. But honestly, I want to know who was involved in this shit, because I want to see them get put behind bars. I don't care what side of the political spectrum they're on. If they were involved in any way with what Epstein was doing, I want to see them get prosecuted to the highest extent of the law, because Epstein had connections to very powerful people who either control or have controlled this very country. And one of the core principles of this country is that no one is above the law. So I don't care how powerful this person is, if they had anything to do with Epstein's sex trafficking operation, they should be put in jail. But it seems like that's not going to happen, because the information that could be incriminating has definitely been blacked out. The only new thing we got was that there were a lot of photos that were taken that haven't been released before. And while some of the photos that got released are photos of very famous people like Michael Jackson, Chris Tucker, Kevin Spacey, and Bill Clinton, doesn't mean they had anything to do nor were involved with what Epstein was doing. So pretty much anything that got released that hasn't been blacked out kind of means nothing. It's not really anything of value because it's not incriminating, but anything that could be incriminating has already been redacted. The files are essentially just a fat nothing burger, but that's only because the burger has been taken out. This is just such a blatant corruption. It could not be more obvious than this. And the government's willingness to protect the people involved with this heinous shit is on full display. Like, they're not even hiding it at this point. The only thing that they're hiding is the people that were involved in Epstein's sick operation. And yet, despite all the blatant dishonesty and corruption, Pam Bondi still has the audacity to come out on Twitter and say that President Trump is leading the most transparent administration in American history. My ass, bro. It is so extremely obvious at this point that the government genuinely believes that we are a bunch of dumbasses. They actually think we are a bunch of brain-dead morons who will just not question anything they say or do, and that we'll just be a bunch of good little citizens, stick our heads in the sand, and just go with it. Like, they actually thought we were gonna look at these redactions and the black squares they call the files and be like, oh yeah, this isn't suspicious at all. I don't even know how you can defend this. Like, I genuinely cannot think of a single way you can defend this shit. Even if you are a hardcore MAGA ride or die Trump supporter, you cannot defend this crap in any way, because the government has reared their ugly head for all of us to see, and they are laughing in our faces. The FBI, the DOJ, and the Trump administration are all probably collectively laughing their asses off because they tricked a whole lot of people into thinking they were going to get any new information in the Epstein files. And then when it came time to release them, they went, ha, gotcha, and revealed that they redacted anything of value. And the thing that really gets me about all of this was that I actually had a small bit of hope in this, which I know sounds ridiculous, and looking back on it, it is. I should have had no hope at all. But the reason why I did is because in my last video that I made discussing this whole situation, I talked about the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell herself said that she wanted to testify before Congress and essentially spill the beans on everything. And that's when I got some hope and thought to myself, man, we're finally gonna see some justice get done. We'll finally know most, if not all, of the people that were involved in Epstein's disgusting sex trafficking ring and see them get put in jail. But now fast forward to today, and that hope is dead and gone, and it is never coming back. But honestly, that's on me, because I should know by now not to trust the government nor the shitty, pathetic excuse for an administration that we're gonna have to deal with for the next 3 years. I just can't believe how open they're being about this. Like, again, they are not hiding it at all. They're basically telling us, yeah, we're corrupt as hell and we're gonna continue to defend the scumbags that were involved. This is just such a shitty situation all around, because the victims are probably never gonna see justice, will probably never get answers, and it's just gonna go down in history as one of the most blatant examples of the government lying and their corruption. I just kind of feel really let down, but honestly, I should have seen this coming. Like, how I'm feeling right now is entirely on me, because again, I should know better. I expected justice and all I got was disappointment and injustice, which it seems like that's the government's motto. Will any good come out of this situation? Will we get any new information within these files? Are we going to see some of the people involved get put in jail? Only time will tell. And that's going to do it for the video. Thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.